folks will be a little bit kinder, a little bit softer, and a little bit careful, because death has come to Copper Falls, and with death comes outsiders. It wouldn't do to tell the truth, not when you don't know who might be listening. So they'll clasp their hands and shake their heads and say things like, "That poor girl was trouble since the day she was born." And there will be real pity in their voices, as if I had any say, as if I conjured trouble from inside the womb so that it was already there, waiting to catch me as I tumbled out, a sticky web that tangled up all around me and never let go. As if the same people who are clucking their tongues right now and sighing over my troubled life couldn't have spared me from so much pain if they'd spared just a little thought, a little grace for their junkyard girl. But they can say what they like. I know the truth, and for once, I have no reason not to tell it. Not anymore. Not from where I stand, 6 feet under, finally at peace. I was no saint in life, but death has a way of making you honest. So here's my message from beyond the grave, the one I want you to remember, because it will be important, because I don't want to lie. They all thought I had it coming. They all thought I was better off dead. And the truth, the one I realized in that last horrible moment before the gun went off, is just this. They were right.
Part 1. Chapter 1. The Lake. Just shy of 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, the smoke from the junkyard fire on Old Lad Road began to move east. The junkyard had been burning for hours by then. Unstoppable, marked by that putrid column, black and billowing, that could be seen for miles. But now the column was a front, pushed by the rising wind. The wispy points of its poisonous fingers crept down the road and went drifting through the trees toward the lake and toward the lake front, which was when Sheriff Dennis Ryan sent his deputy, Miles Johnson, to start clearing out the houses there. Fully expecting to find them empty, of course. Labor Day was a month gone, and with it the tourist season, such as it was. The nights were longer now, and colder, tinged with the promise of an early frost. That last weekend, pleasant little curls of wood smoke could be seen drifting above the houses, as the folks staying there lit their little fires against the evening's chill. The lake was quiet. No droning motors, no shouting kids. Nothing but the rustling of the wind, the musical trickle of water beneath the wooden docks, a single loon crying in the distance. The sheriff's deputy knocked that morning at 6 houses, 6 empty houses, with locked doors and vacant driveways, until the speech he'd prepared about the evacuation order died in his mind from lack of use. There were only 2 houses left when he pulled up to number 13, rolling his eyes reflexively at the name spray-painted on the mailbox. For a moment, he even considered skipping this one, thinking to himself that if Earl Willette's junkyard burning to the ground was a solid start, then his daughter choking to death on its ashes would be an excellent finish. Only for a moment, of course. He'd assure himself of that later as he drowned the day in a bottle of Jameson, drinking hard to dull the memory of the horrible things he'd seen. A fraction of a moment. Just a blip on the mental radar, really, and certainly not enough to count, for God's sake. What happened to Lizzie had happened hours before he even knew he'd be coming down the shore drive, which meant it couldn't possibly be his fault, no matter how much a small, guilty voice in the back of his mind kept suggesting otherwise. By the time he knocked, she was already dead. Besides, he did knock. He did. He took pride in his job and the badge he wore. Skipping the Willette house was just a petty impulse, an old grudge reminding him that it was still there. He wouldn't actually give in.